guys, thank you so much for joining us today. I'm Will,
I'm Solo.
and we are going to be going through Forgemaster today. He's a really fun character. If you've ever wanted to feel like a raid boss while you're playing Dice Throne, this is the character for you. Once you get it all built up, it feels amazing. All right, before we get in, let's talk a little bit about the character.
Hey guys, so we're about Forgemaster. I want to talk about his dice face first. So we have 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, and 3 are pickaxes. 4 and 5 are going to be the forges, and 6 are going to be the anvils, which is his most common faces in Dice Throne. So it makes the character easy to roll for its abilities. And so that's one thing on the positive side. Most of the Vanguard series has a 3, 2, 1 as well. So we're gonna bring his board back on. We're gonna go talk about his basic ability, which is the pickaxe. So for 3 pickaxes, you get a 5 damage. For 4 pickaxes, you get a 6 damage, and for 5, you get 7. Which 7 is what you consider average damage in Dice Throne. So it's not a bad basic ability. If you roll 4 of a kind, you do get a CP. Which with this character, you'll find there are many different ways to gain CP for this. So it also helps your economy.
Exactly. And so the next up is mines, and this is his passive. This is kind of his defining ability. So during your upkeep phase, you may mine your deck. You don't have to mine your deck, but you may mine your deck. In a second, we're going to talk about times where you should mine your deck and should not mine your deck. We'll each take a minute and try to convince you. You tell us what you think. But okay, so during your upkeep phase, you may mine your deck, and once per turn, you may spend 3 CP at any time to draw one.
And when that's once per turn, that means once per turn on your turn and your opponent's turn. So in a round, you can draw 2 cards.
Yeah, if you're stacked up with CP,
Yep.
grabbing 2 cards is pretty nice. So his economy is great, and it's because of this. All right, so now the second passive is the Forge. So if you mine during your upkeep phase, or on your defense, or with Good Haul, which we'll talk about in a second, you take it and you show it to your opponent, and then you put it here into the Forge. And so it says during your main phase, you may place any number of ore cards from your hand into this passive ability. Solo and I have different ways we play this. And so Solo approaches it more like he's counting cards on blackjack, and I just enjoy the extra resources. So we're going to take a minute each. You tell me what you think. All right, you ready?
All right.
All right.
Good.
1 minute, go.
So when I use my upkeep phase, if I draw 2 or more ores, my next upkeep phase, I choose not to mine, and that's because I have a feeling that I'm going to pull a card for dice mod or something that I can use besides just ore, and I don't want to put that on the bottom of the deck because if you don't pull an ore, then it has to go on the bottom of your deck. The way it works is when you draw 3 cards, you show one to your opponent. That goes into the forge, and the other ones go on the bottom of your deck. So you can lose a lot of resources, in my opinion, that way. Um, Also, you can mine with your defense, and you can mine with good haul like I was talking about. So there's different times you can mine. My main concern is mining too much and losing a lot of your dice manipulation cards, which can help, or your what status fix, or not this time, things that can help you kind of push that game to your side. So my way to approach it is if I mine at any time and I pull 2 ores or more, then the next time if I have a choice to mine or not, I'm not going to mine.
Okay. All right. So now I love the resources. All right. So my minute. I love seeing my cards. I love going through them. And each one of these ores, if you're not using them to build your shield or your helmet, has something you can do. You know, your gold will give you a health or a CP. The diamond gives you a CP or lets you reroll 1 dice. And then your ultimanium, which you're probably not going to use it, but it kind of operates as a free so wild. So I want to get through as many of those cards as possible so I can draw down to my actual cards. Now, the one thing in Solo's favor is the first time you draw a triple up and a double up and a twice as wild and have to put that on the bottom of your deck, it's going to crush your soul. But, you know, a good amount of soul crushing is fine. It's fine. But at least at that point, you have knowledge. You know where it is in your deck. And so you know that you probably need to mine quite uh, every chance you get at this point so you can get those back and around.
You sit here and think about like what is all this mining for, what is the ore for, and everything else. That is what makes the Forge Master operate. That's his engine. That's what gets him going. So you have gold, you have diamond, and you have ultimanium. So what is all this mining for? What do you get from it? Like why are you doing this to your deck? Why are you throwing cards away or putting them on the bottom of your deck? It's because you're looking for ore. The ore is what is this Forgemaster is like its stitch. Is what it makes it go. The engine is going to be fueled by your ore, which is gold, diamond, and ultimanium. Um, so these is how you build your armor. You got a helmet and a shield that you can build. Your helmets are the same, which you have gold, diamond, and ultimanium, and then you also have your shields, which are gold, diamond, and ultimanium. So the way it works is you have two gold, and you can build a gold shield or a gold helmet, and then you can trade in the shield and two diamond cards and upgrade to diamond. And then you can trade in your diamond shield, diamond helmet with an ultimanium card and build your ultimanium, which is like his final form, his final armor.
2 golds blocks 1 on the helmet, does 1 back to the attacker, and the same, it blocks 1. Diamond, 2 diamonds gets you 2 damage back and prevents 2 damage. And then the ultimanium can send 3 damage back, and then the upgrade doesn't get higher numbers, but it lets you block undefendable damage, which is pretty amazing because that's his weakness, is undefendable damage. Now, one thing we'll see in a second, and the defense is going to modify all that. So sometimes you can double it or double one or both, depending on what you roll, and we'll show you this. If you have an ultimating helmet and you double the ultimanium damage back, that'll be 6 damage. So this is when you start feeling like a raid boss. You're blocking 4, you're dealing 6 back.
Delta of 10, which is amazing.
A delta of 10 on your defense. Not even talking about your offense at this point.
So we're gonna bring his board back on. Will was just talking about the forge, so I want to talk about his furnace. So Will was just talking about the forge. I want to move up and talk about the furnace. So furnace is 4 anvils that you roll, which is going to be a 4 or 5. When you roll that, you do 5 damage plus a rider die. So you roll 1 dice, and whatever that is, you add that full amount to it. So it's not a bad ability. It's not terribly hard to roll for. I mean, you roll that more often than you would 6s.
Next, we have Armored Up. And Armored Up is kind of great. It's the only ability that you get to upgrade, and that's by having 2 armor, and you add 2 damage, and that's if you have the helmet or the shield. So his straights end up doing a lot of damage once you start building up, and this is heading towards that raid boss factor. So we have 7 damage unmodified, 9 if you have both armors, or 12 damage if you have both armors and large straight. That's a hard hit, especially if you're dealing 6 back to them and blocking 4 on their defense.
Yeah, that's straights are pretty strong with this character, and once you get even without the upgrade to it, 10 damage on a straight is amazing. Now we're gonna move down to Goodhall, which I consider his best ability. You need a pickaxe, forge, and 2 anvils. But when you roll this, you get to mine your deck, meaning that you get additional time to where you can pull 3 cards, see if you get an ore, put it in your forge. The only difference this is what makes it so good is when you mine your deck, say you pull a gold, a diamond, and ultimanium. Guess what? You get to keep all that, and that all goes directly into your forge. So with this ability, you keep anything that you mine that is an ore, and you do 8 damage, which is above average damage. It is defendable, but it's still 8 damage along with getting your resources.
All right, next up is Smelting Time. And Smelting Time is 4 anvils. And so you draw 1 card and deal 9 undefendable damage. That's a
Big number.
that's a pretty big number. Undefendable damage, and you're drawing 1. You're getting to see more cards. You're trying to pull more resources, some of your ores. So that's pretty all right.
So we're talking about his defense. So when you go down to master work, which is basically you roll dice. There's a 50% chance you'll mine and a 50% chance that you'll do double the effect of your armor. So and then the great part about this is you roll a 6, you double the effect of both of your armor. Great, it's a great defense, honestly. It's like I said, 50% chance to mine, 50% chance to do something back to your opponent or block some damage.
All right, let's take a second and look at his ult. His ult is pretty great. It's called Final Touches, and I do like this. Mind your own business. So his ultimate: search your deck for any 1 ore card, place it in your passive ability. Talking about the forge. Then shuffle your deck and deal 14 damage. 14 damage is huge. That's same damage as Thor, so it's on the higher number for the ultimates. But the greatest part of this is searching your deck for another card. So this is the only way that you can upgrade both your helmet and your shield to ultimate. Because there's 1 ultimatum in your deck, you might be able to go through your deck.
You might. This is probably the more for sure way to
most reliable.
Yeah, most reliable. I agree.
Yeah. All right, and so yeah, that makes this pretty amazing.
What really feels really good is, and not saying that you can will things to happen, but if you have cards in your hand, say twice as wild, so wild, something to get you to an ultimate. What I would do, as far as what I'll be concerned, is as soon as you say you pull the ultimanium and you upgrade your helmet, right? It goes on the bottom of your deck. If you can force an ult for your next round, you can just draw that ultimanium back out.
That'd be
It will be
amazing.
amazing.
That'd be so good.
So that's it with his abilities. Like I said, he's a pretty solid character with his damage. He's up there. Um, but now we're going to talk about his upgrades.
All right, so let's take a second and pull out his upgrades, and we're going to talk about his ability cards. And we're done. He's got no upgrades. He's got no ability cards. All of his ability cards are in his gold,
Diamond.
diamond, and ultimanium cards. But it does bear mentioning that if you do draw a gold and that you're healing or getting CP, which works really nice into his passive, but no ability upgrades, no ability cards.
And that's why we say his straights is only his only real upgrade. And we say that, and we'll joke when we're playing. You'll probably hear us when we do our matches. But you probably hear us like, oh, now I upgrade my straights, which is no card on it because basically you put a gold helmet, gold shield on. His straights are now upgraded by 2 damage, which is great. Okay, guys. So that wraps up his basically his basics, what he does, what you want to do with him, and his abilities. Now we're going to talk a little bit about strategy. So my biggest thing with him is depending on your matchup is what you want to upgrade first. If you're fighting a Black Panther, I am not upgrading the helmet to gold. I want to wait till I have ultimanium or something to do enough damage back because I think good Black Panther player would trade 1 damage on defense for kinetic energy, or the most 2 for kinetic energy. His one big weakness is any player who has a good access to undefendable damage because you won't activate defense, meaning you're not getting hit back, he's not blocking anything until you get the ultimate shield. So if I'm playing somebody who is got a great source undefendable defense, my first primary upgrade would be his shield to ultimanium, so I can at least block 2 of that undefendable damage. Upgrading his helmet is a killer. I mean, you got to think about it. Pyromancer has considered one of the most bitey defenses, and so does a player like Curse Pirate. This character's defense can change a game. So, with that being said, if you upgrade his helmet like turn 2, then you're looking at possibly like 24 damage going back to your opponent. I mean, it is absurd numbers that will happen with this.
Yeah.
And that's why when you're playing this character, it feels good to go into somebody that has to hit your defense a lot.
And if you're playing against him, don't feel bad about using your tippet to knock them out and into a mine, because using a tippet for 6 damage is pretty all right. I mean, that's pretty good.
It is true. Like a lot of us won't use our soul wilds or tippets on someone's defense. This is a perfect example why you should. I mean, honestly, it can mean the difference in a game. With so once you build his shield and once you build his helmet, his ore cards aren't useless. Like we're mentioning before, they really come into play with strategy, with making this character stronger. So his go, like for
Absolutely.
instance, his go card.
All right, guys. So let's take a second and talk about his ores, because there are times where you're going to scrap it, and now the difference between that and when you're building. So when you're building, you're going to be taking these 2 gold, 2 diamond, or 1 ultimanium, and you'll be putting them on the bottom of your deck. But if you decide to scrap it from your forge, it will either give you 1 health or 1 CP, and then you discard this card. That means it goes into your discard pile. You won't see it again, um, which might not be bad in late game. So you're drawing into actual cards instead of gold cards. And then the diamond ore, the scrap effect is you may re-roll 1 dice or gain 1 CP. Now, if you get so desperate, or if you ult twice in a game, the scrap effect for this is change the value of any one of your dice to a 6. So it's a free 6-it, or you can draw 2 cards, then you discard.
With that being said, the times to use these gold is pretty apparent. If you need CP or you need health, use it. Stack it up. I mean, I was playing a game with a person, and they healed right before I hit him with the ultimate. Like he saw what I was going for because you can use these anytime. You can scrap them anytime that you want. Building your armor, you have to do in your main phase, but scrapping can be anytime. So it's talking about scrapping them, when to do it, how to do it, and the reasons to do it. At first, I thought that anytime wasn't the same as instant, but we did a little more research on it, and anytime is just same as instant. So even if you're about to die, scrap of gold, get a life. That's kind of thing you can do. Or You see somebody like, okay, they have 3 6 on board and they're going through the cards and looking for an ultimate, right? Right before they hit that ultimate, you scrap 5 cards of gold. You get 5 health and you survive the ultimate and you live to fight another day. So that's pretty apparent when you use that. Diamonds are kind of debatable.
Mm.
I personally would like to save my diamonds for my defense, or if I'm like a last draw to try to get the ultimate or something. But mine would definitely be saving diamonds for your defense because you get a 50% chance. Meaning, if you get an extra roll, you're probably going to hit what you want to hit. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. Saving it for your defense, or maybe if you're really getting down towards the end and you have to roll something specific.
And then Ultimanium, like he says, it's a free 6 hit or draw 2. But not only that, but once again we go to the defense. Let's say that you're being attacked. You guys are or 6 to 4. And someone's hitting you for 8 damage, and you roll. You hit a mine. Change that to 6, and you block 8, and you do 6 back. You win. It's
Yeah.
honestly, it's these cards can be so valuable as scrap as much as building your armor. So it's the character is so much fun. You're doing something every turn. You're doing something in
Mhm.
between turns. You're always working on it, and it can be a really no brainer pilot type character where you can just go through and just try to smash a character, or you can be like me and try to count cards and try to make things a little more better odd wise. Either way you play, you're gonna have a lot of fun with this character.
Yeah, he doesn't have any horrible matchups. There's some that are not in his favor, but none that are just instant loss. And so I think you're going to see him a lot in competitive play. Like he was saying, he always has something to do, and I find that to be so much fun. You don't just have to wait till your turn comes back, and you always have something you can do.
And with this character, with competitive play with this character, a lot of people say that when you go first in a competitive matchup, well, in a bring three ban one format, Swiss style, is you're going to run into the people who say you go first, you got 5% chance more winning. I typically don't mind going second in matches.
Mhm.
If I'm playing Forgemaster, I want to go first. The reason why is it gets me a extra turn to try to build up my engine, try to get a shield out there, try to get a helmet out there. Because if not, if I'm going against a Forge Master and I go first, I am doing whatever I can to hit him with my biggest attack because he has absolutely zero defense.
Mhm.
And if you get lucky and they get unlucky enough, you can get 2 turns with big hits without having to suffer any kind of defense from them. Probably won't happen, but that's something that can happen. So Forge Master going first is dire. It's very important because that's how he gets his engine online to try to block any kind of damage or deal damage back. Other than that, like I said, the characters is fun. It's one of the out of the Vanguard. It's I think the second strongest character out of the box. We'll be talking about Druid and Duelist and Sun Elf coming up on our next videos. I think we will leave that to you guys. Actually, I want you guys to comment below. Let us know who you guys want to see next for another deep dive into. If you guys don't agree with what we're saying, I want to know that too. We both do. We want to know what you guys think about the character, how you think it should be played. If you disagree with stuff, just understand that this is our take on it. I've played this character probably about 30 times at this point, maybe 40.
Mhm.
Uh, he's played him quite a bit too.
Mhm.
Our next video that's going to be coming up, we're going to be doing a live match between Will and I. Will's going to play the Forge Master, and I'm going to play a random character that we figured out, and we'll see how it plays into it.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. So, guys, I hope to catch you on that video. But as always, if you would like and subscribe, we'd really appreciate it. Small channels tend to grow faster with your support, and the algorithm sees that you're engaged and it loves that. So, if you want to see our community grow and this video gets served to our people, if you'd like and subscribe, I'd really appreciate that.
Okay. Other than that, I'm Solomon.
I'm Will.
We're twice as wild.